Good morning, students. It's me, Miss Sanya, and today we are back with another topic. As you all know, that we have completed previously about different aspects which were related to population, the growth of population, causes of population, and effects of population. So today we are starting with a new topic, and the name of the topic is migration. But before moving forward, hurry up, grab your notebook along with pencil and pen and start noting the important pointers. And yes, you're already familiar with the other guidelines. Now, question number one. Discuss with reference to both push and pull factors the main causes of population movement, including rural urban migration. When I talk about the term rural urban migration, it means that why people are moving from rural, it means from village areas to the city life. Urban is known as city, and migration is known as that you're leaving your country and then you're going towards another country, or you're leaving your city and then you're going towards another city. So that is known as migration. And when I talk about the term push and pull factors, push means that what are those factors which encourage you to leave your country and to move towards another country or city, or what are those pull factors which are, you can say that what are those pull factors which are calling you into that country or city. So the question which is asked is that we have to discuss the push and pull factors, that why people are migrating from rural areas to the urban areas, what is the causes of those movements. So in this we are going to discuss each and everything related to this. I am going to discuss this SLO in detail because the major reason is that there were multiple questions which were included in the past papers from this SLO. So you have to make sure that you should study this SLO thoroughly. Now, coming towards the next part, that is, we have to discuss each and everything in detail. Now, let's move forward. All right. Definition of migration. When I talk about the term definition of migration, then basically definition of migration states that here we are talking about that why do people migrate from one country to another, right? It means that movement. If I talk about the term in general, then it states that here you're talking about that you are moving from one state to another. So let's start with this definition, which is written over here. Migration refers to movement of a person from one place to another place, away from native place, either within or outside the country for job, occupation, business, or in search of better standards of living on a permanent basis. Now, when I talk about the term migration, migration means the movement of person who is moving from one place to another place, or the movement of native place means where you're living, you're moving from that place to another place or outside the country for job, for occupation, for business, or in search of better standards of living on a permanent basis. That is known as migration. Now, when I talk about migration in terms of rural and urban migration, then it means that it refers to the movement of people from rural areas into cities to live and work. When I talk about rural and urban migration, then rural and urban migration basically means that you have to fulfill your family's needs due to this reason that you are migrating from one place to another place in search of work and better supplies. Now, push versus pull factor. Before moving forward, it is very important that you should know the meanings of all of these terminologies, then it will be easier for you to understand the content. Push factor means that push factors are the things encouraging someone to move from a place. These include losing your job, having fewer friends, remaining in the area, the cost of living, poor resources, and no employment prospects. The reason behind that why we push, it means that push means that someone is pushing you to move from one place to another, and the basic factors that why do people prefer to move from one place to another is in search of a better job, a better living. You're not having that much resources in the place where you were living previously, or the cost of living is expensive. So you're searching for another employment to look after your family members. When I talk about pull factors, then pull factors are basically the things that entice some people to a new place. It means the encouragement that why people are moving from one place to another. They could include such things as a warmer climate, better job prospects, a large salary, better standards of living, more friends and family, better public services. Pull factor means that you are moving from one place to another in search of better things, right? And in search of things which can help you to look after your family. Now, let's talk about the reasons that why do people migrate or stay into that country. Now, see, reasons for wanting to leave home region. So all of those regions why you're leaving one country and you're going towards another country or region, that is known as the push factor. Then either you have to migrate or you have to stay in the same country, that is your decision, whatever you decide to do. Then the reasons why you're leaving that city and then you're moving towards another one, that is the pull factor, which is encouraging you to enter into another zone. Coming towards urban pull factors, urban means that you're leaving another country or city and then you're entering into the city life. So, urban basically means the city life. They are the positive factors for migrating to the cities. All of these factors are the positive factors that why people do prefer to migrate from one place to another place. Now, government invest more in cities, housing is better in city life, and then there are more job opportunities. When we talk about city, people are having better salaries, people can look after the family members, people have better standards of living over there. Now they're also offering services like transport, hospitals and schools to people who can work and who can get education from there better, and an education which can help their family members. The life expectancy is higher as compared to the life in the rural areas, because the major reason is that the medical facilities are present into the city life. Well, there's electricity, water, and food supply. That is the basic needs of life, which is present in city life as compared to the rural areas. When I talk about countryside, then sometimes they have a lack of those factors. Coming towards cities are more attractive for people to live in. They can shop over there, they can use that thing for their entertainment purposes. The effect of the natural disasters are smaller in cities as compared to the rural areas. That means the village life. People are able to study in city, they can improve their conditions, they can improve their parents' condition and improve the way of living. Now the other push and pull factors. Starting with the push factors, well, there are fewer services into the place where they were living. There were lack of job opportunities. There was an unhappy life because you were having let's suppose if somebody's having 5 children, then you have to look after the expenses as well. So that's why it was unhappy life, because you were having lack of job opportunities. There were poor transport links, natural disasters do occur over there, wars, and then shortage of food. But when I talk about pull factors, it means the city life where we are having services, we are having job opportunities, we are having entertainments, we are having better transport links, improved conditions, and yes, the most important, the families are connected to one another. Now, coming towards the rural push factors, there are other factors which are discussed into this slide, that is lack of investment from the government in rural areas. It means that government is not investing that much money in rural areas as compared to the urban. Urban means city life and rural means the village life. Then rural areas have lack of services, like such as they are not updated hospitals, transports and schools over there in the village life. Then the village life have high birth rate, but there are, because a lack of medical facilities are over there, due to if they're having high birth rate, then they're having high death rate as well. And yes, one more thing, in rural areas, still son is considered the pride of the family. They don't consider women's that much as compared to the city life. So those places are sometimes overpopulated in developing countries. Then coming towards the next part, there are more job opportunities in cities as compared to the village life. Sometimes crops are also destroyed in the village areas due to natural disasters, due to such as heavy rainfall, acid rain, etc. And people have to move towards another place. Most of the farmers in developing countries don't have their own land, so obviously they have to pay for the damage as well. So the point is that from where do they pay the damage if they are not having that much resources, even the amount to pay the expenses as well. Then the other push factors are the landlessness, the war and civil disorder into the society, intolerance and alternative lifestyles of the people, the desertification, lack of medical facilities, rapid population growth, rural poverty. They are not having enough educational opportunities, transfer of land from one place to another. It means if you're not owning the land, you have to pay the loans to the landlord. You even have to share those crops which you're growing with the landlords. Then coming towards the pull factor, you can see that this is a very beautiful scenery which you can see in front of you. One on one side, on the left side, it is basically the village life, and on the right side, it is basically the city life. And here they're showing the difference between both of them. Now, the pull factors, they're having employment opportunities, they're promising for higher standards of living, entertainment, medical facilities, and education opportunities. Well, I have, I am trying to explain you with different points which are similar with one another so that if anything comes in the paper, so it will be easier for you to answer. Then push and pull factors, well, all of those things which I've already discussed, all of those things are written into this slide as well. Kindly just go through the slide by yourself because I've already explained you in the previous things. Now, what does this cartoon show? That is the question which is in front of you. You have to answer. You can see droughts, you can see poor transportation, you can see floods, you can see poor farmlands over here. There are large families, machines taking over the jobs on the farms, and high rents. So, according to this picture, you have to depict and tell that what exactly this picture is saying you. Now, the conclusion of this is that when consequences are faced by a country, it means when problems are faced by a country, then people prefer to migrate to another country for a better living and job employment. As far as underdeveloped countries are concerned, people move towards the developed countries. This situation is called pull factors. And then, on the other hand, when people push factor means that when a country faces some major problems such as unemployment, economic recessions, high prices of necessary goods, then the country, some people will be forced by their own country to go to another country. This is called push factor. So now you are familiar with the difference between push factor and pull factor, which I've already stated. Push factor basically means that things are pushing you if you are not having better opportunities, if you're not having better life standards, if you're not having better resources, then you're moving towards another country. And pull factor in short means that if you're not having better resources, so when you're considering another country in place of that, then that country is attracting you to just adopt that country or to come into that country because that country can fulfill your better your needs and better life standards. So the assignment for today is discuss with reference to both push and pull factors the main causes of population movement, including rural urban migration. So you have to attempt this question in your copy. And yes, you have to post the answer under my instructions in KP, which I've already mentioned over there. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to us. I hope this presentation turned out to be something interesting and informative for all of you. Still, if you people are having any sort of questions, so you can ask me on KP under my instructions, which are posted over there. Inshallah, we return back with another presentation for all of you. Till then, take care, barakallah, and Allah.